I can't stomach just doing. Okay. That was unpleasant. And then I still got the taste of it in my mouth. Damn it. Okay. All right. Then I gotta worry about that after the stream. Oh, fuck it. I'll do it now. Touch me. Damn. Early stream? Yeah. Give me a minute. I sort of threw up everywhere. Yeah. No. All right. Now I'm good. What happened? Oh, don't you worry. It's just a matter of circumstance, consequence, all that good stuff, you know? All that good stuff. Yes, I had too much for breakfast. Me having too much for breakfast ends up being my downfall yet again. It's not a good look. Not a good look. And it sucks when you know you're about to fucking gag. I haven't thrown up in a couple years. I forgot how taxing it is to fucking barf. Because I just fucking let that shit loose and my entire jaw just locked and it fucking hurts. Because you know how you try to like fight it just like a little bit? I couldn't fight it. I tried. I just couldn't. I did my hardest, but I couldn't. Rinse your mouth. That was the whole point of that awkward silence you heard for like the first 40 seconds. I had to rebrush my mouth. Douse it all in that mouthwash again. Ah! I hate when you feel it. That's the only thing. I hate when you feel it. When you feel it is when it sucks the most. Like I shouldn't have to feel when I have to throw up. And now my neck hurts, my jaw hurts. Oh Lord. But it's the consequence of being skinny. It's the pain of being beautiful. It's the pain. The anticipation is the worst. I'm gonna agree with you. Did you get it all out at least? Yes. So it's like I ate and I felt good, but then I felt it, and I was like, oh no. Haven't felt this sensation in a while. You feeling better? I mean, it did all just happen within like the past 20 minutes. So like within the past 20 minutes, I felt it all. But in terms of how I'm feeling good. I'm feeling fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's even worse when the food slapped. I mean, it was breakfast. It really wasn't like the greatest food since sliced fucking bread. I was just like, but I'm sitting here feeling it. And I'm like, maybe if I could repel it with like a beverage. And so I drank something and I was like, oh no, this shit coming. And, you know, for anyone who's never barfed, or if you haven't barfed in a long time, don't recommend doing it in the sink. Make your way to that fucking toilet. And just face fuck that toilet for a good couple minutes. You face fuck that toilet for a couple minutes, you'll be all right. Oh. But now, this stream's gonna feel tiresome almost. But now that we got all that out of our fucking system, how we feeling? You all want to fucking just get it all over with? Because you know why we're here. We got to keep it going. We got to keep learning about why all your family members are cutting you off this holiday season. Could it be because you're not someone people want to be around? Could it be because of your fucking political choices? Which I'll say again, y'all cut people off for whatever reasons y'all fucking want. I don't care, because I'm going to be honest, there's more than just, oh my God, they voted for Trump, so now I can't be with it. There was more there. That was just the straw that broke the camel's back. It's fine. That's fine for it to be the case. Just make sure in the future you're more aware of who you have around you. That way you don't have to fucking pretend to cut them off later. But apparently Amir Odom is going to either answer or ponder the question of why millennials and Gen Z are cutting off their family members. And I shudder to gasp that I'm going to hear. I actually like Amir Odom. Amir Odom's probably, he's one of the good ones. He's one of the good conservatives that's not batshit insane. And that's what you got to like about a guy like him. They need more of him. Can't hear the video. I've done so good. I did so good.
Who doesn't have a relationship with their father. I mean, obviously I'm black, so what do you expect? And even like
basic human rights.
Excuse me?
You're the problem.
The people that were supposed to have our backs and the people that we were supposed to be able to lean on weren't there.
Yep. The way that millennials and Gen Z are looking at the idea of what a family is changing. And while some of it is for good reason, I do think that some of it is a bit drastic. On this channel, we've talked about why millennials have gone into contact with their parents, and then we've reacted to parents whose kids have cut them off. But I think this bleeds into how millennials and Gen Z are looking at what constitutes as family in the first place. As someone who doesn't have a relationship with their father, I mean, obviously I'm black, so what do you expect? And even like...
Great joke, but you're not really gonna answer that question in any type of earnest.
Pretty much low contact. No, it's pretty low. Contact with my mother. I mean, I get it, because even for me, I look at what family is differently too. Well, I do have a sister that I'm...
It's wonderful. Here's the gimmick. Everyone has a line. Every single one of us, him, me, you watching this live stream, we all have a line of respect and toleration that we can only deal with for so long. And yes, that's for family members too. And maybe things get to a point where it's like, all right, one more time and it's over. One more time it is this, and one more time it is that. That election for a lot of people was their final straw. And he said, you know what, fuck it. I don't have to deal with this. There's no monetary gain of being here. You feel already like shit dealing with these people, and now they voted in a way that you don't like. Oh, fuck, cut them off. Oh, but that's not fair. Okay, life's not fair. You gonna force some... Let me give y'all some parenting advice. Forcing someone to like someone they clearly have issues with will make them hate you more. So just cut the bait, deal with it how you choose to deal with it, and go from there. Oh, but it's a family sticks together. Okay, I'm going to ponder this question. Let's say you're a parent. You don't even have to do that. Let's say one of your family members is on trial and is found guilty with a bunch of evidence of him raping little girls. That's still family? No? I thought so. So again, everybody's got a line that they're willingly able to deal with and want to be a part of. And then when that line drastically reaches a point, no one wants to deal with it anymore.
I'm close with and various cousins, I'm realizing that more and more people are redefining.
They want to save their peace of mind. They want to save that and their outlook on family. For example, I have various family members I don't like because daddy don't tolerate disrespect. And my mother has this foolish gimmick to where she thinks, oh, if enough time of silence goes by, everything will just be fine. It's not how that works. It's never going to be how that works. And she was very upset that I didn't mingle with her family members on Thanksgiving. But she knows why. She's just hoping one day I guess, stop complaining that these people blatantly disrespect me. It's never going to happen. I don't really care about your outlook on life. I don't care about your peace of mind. I don't care that you want to pretend to look good for Facebook. None of that matters to me. What matters is my respect, my sanity. And for too long, I've allowed it to be disrespected. Now, I'm going to just make sure that I keep myself nice and sanguine. And if a motherfucker tries me, I guess it's just going to have to be showtime. Because I will make it showtime.
And rethinking what constitutes as family and what these bonds mean. Because at the end of the day, you know, we are family in the sense that we're blood related. We have shared experiences growing up. We know all the tea, like in the family, that we've been around each other our whole lives. But as we mature and change and grow up and become more independent, do I necessarily have to keep you in my life just because we're family? Especially given when it's so easy to be a part of a community and be surrounded by people who treat you better than your own family to begin with. So in this video, we're gonna go through just that. We're gonna talk about the history of the family structure, my thoughts on how it's evolved, and then get into people's perspective on this topic. So as always, be sure to subscribe if you like this type of content. The history. So when discussing the family dynamic, I think it's important to highlight how families are created and, you know, begin in the first place. Because we're going to constitute a family as a mom, a dad, and kids. Then let's look at how mom and dad are meeting to begin with. So looking at this graph, what we're looking at is how couples have met throughout the past few decades. And this is heterosexual couples, and then on the other side we have same-sex couples. Looking at straight couples, what we see, I mean, it's pretty much across the board. Between the 1940s and roughly the mid-90s, you met people by your local community, by like local school, church, college, bar, restaurant, through friends. That's how you met people. But then when the internet came along and online, you see online rising and everything else dropping. Same thing for same-sex couples. I mean, really have the data starting at like the mid-80s. It was already starting to decline through your local community, but as soon as online came, it happened even sooner, really, for gays. It shot up, which makes sense because really, why am I going to sit here and go out and like talk to a dude and he ends up being straight, or like outing myself and really not that safe to, especially in that time period, when I can just go online and find someone immediately who I know is gay. It makes it easier. And that's why this graph is so telling, because it's not even just showing how families are starting to be created, you know, mom and dad are meeting and people are getting together. It's highlighting how down to our communities are changing and how we're meeting people. This is a telltale sign that bleeds right into how the internet has changed how we look at communities.
Adapt. Get good. Understand that your way of life back in before you were born and you were a kid is not the same way now. Case in point, I want to live in the world where 24-hour Walmarts are back in session. Unfortunately, I don't. You know, it makes me sad. But I've had to adapt. And I've adapted by finding a 24-hour Walgreens and going there whenever I'm fucking hungry and I want some chips. Sure, gas stations count as 24-hour stores in some avenues and respects. But daddy wants to fucking feel the thirst of going to a store. You know what I'm saying? That makes him feel good deep inside. That puts the pressure on daddy to fucking feel sanguine in society. Knowing that he could fucking take a nice little 15-minute, because that's how long it is, drive, and fucking just, you know, go in Walgreens and be like, yes, I want some chips. Fuck it. Why not? But I think people forget that as time advances, a lot of what is viewed as old will change. Will it be gone forever? That depends on the people you're dealing with. But as long as you have bars and people willing to fucking go out and mingle and maybe meet new people, that type of culture really isn't going to go away. It's more convenient and safe to fucking deal with a motherfucker over the fucking phone. Because like, oh, because even if it doesn't work out, you know what you could do? You just block them, go to bed. No meeting them at a local spot. No wondering if it goes south. If you see them at that same spot, it works out. I can still never understand is the thought process of parents forcing you to give hugs. Yeah, I don't do that. Ain't no forcing interaction with me. Be gone. Get the fuck away from me before I start screaming and kicking.
From our community being local to our community being online. Simply put, if you're watching this right now, how many of you all know your neighbors? Like, if you're not living in like a master plan community in the suburbs, like a cute little small town, most people don't talk to their neighbors. Especially if you're in an apartment complex, you may know the person right next to you, but you don't know your local community. Because of the internet, we're finding our communities online. Whatever your hobbies are, the music you like, the niches that you're involved in, music, there's so much that goes into it. It is so easy to find that community and immediately click with somebody who you already have a shared interest. It makes it so easy to immediately connect and get to know somebody. And this idea, it relates back to families because for so long we were taught and told that family is all you got and your local community is all you got, when we know
family is not all you got, and local community is definitely not all you got. You can expand your horizon. You can expand your portfolio of people. It'll always be something that's there ready for anyone to consume if they're willingly ready and able to consume it. If you're going to be the shut-in who just doesn't want to mingle with your outside world, that's your problem. If you don't want to expand past a certain toxic level of family members and you constantly just want to shovel shit until you die, that's on you. I drastically do not. My life became better once I realized I don't need to be here. I don't need to sit around all these people who make me feel bad. And I could just go out in the world and either meet people or just take my pants off and satisfy my flesh. That's all I got to do. And it worked. I was happy. I still am.
Oh, this is actively changing in front of our eyes. This idea that family is all you got, I mean, it is very wholesome and inspiring, and even I wish, I had that for the most part, but for a lot of people, family isn't all that I've got. I got my online community, I got my friends that treat me better than my own blood family. And this concept, this idea, like what's happening there is relatable to a lot of people out there where they're meeting people online who are treating them better than their own family is to begin with. And I know that to ring true for a lot of people out there. Even today's sponsor, Grammarly, they have not just my back, but yours too when it comes to representing yourself and your ideas in a very theocratic and even phrase, blood is thicker than water and family's always there for you. It doesn't ring true like it used to. I'm just sorry, it just doesn't. There's a lot of people out there, both in millennials and Gen Z, who are no longer putting up with, family and not keeping people around just because we're related. And as crappy as that sounds, it's just the truth. There are people that I'm not even blood related to that treat me better tenfold than the people I'm blood related to and who is my family and supposed to be there for me forever and ever. There's plenty of people.
Why did all of my shit just break apart?
Who I'm blood related to that mean absolutely nothing to me, example being my father. Just because I'm blood related to this man that's out there doesn't mean that he's my family and I'm always gonna be there for them. He's always gonna be there for me. Hello, he left, still gone. But like, he's no different than just a sperm donor who donated his sperm and hello, created this fabulous human being. Back in the day, sure, family was all you had, but that was when there was no internet and you were trapped in your local community and you only...
I'm gonna just be honest with you. Back in the day, you had fucking telltale stories about how motherfuckers hated their family and they left their family to go do something else. Like, we need to stop acting like back in the day everything was normal. Back in the day everything was not normal. You just didn't know about it. And maybe that's a good thing for you because now it's this cesspool where everyone thinks that all these things are happening now and it's all fresh and it's new. No, it's not. We just have more access to it now because literally nobody, and I do mean nobody, has the fucking mental fortitude to just deal with it in private. Every single one of us broadcast it somewhere. And we all fucking fixate on potential attention that we may or may not get. We all fixate on a reaction. We all fixate on somebody seeing it and giving us something that we want, whether it be accommodation, affirmation, any of that sort. This lost gimmick. Do you realize that back in the day, in his time where he thinks that everything was so peaceful and whatnot, if you didn't like your family, you could just leave. Like, and they couldn't find you. You know why? There wasn't access to all these tools to find you.
The people you interacted with most were right there. You weren't online talking to your friends on Discord or Skype or FaceTime. None of the Instagram, Snapchat, that wasn't a thing. So now we're actively seeing times changing. And yeah, I can find my spouse online. I can find my best friend online. I can find all these different people who end up being what a lot of millennials and Gen Z do consider to be family. For those of you that grew up with...
I guess I don't have this problem. Yes, a lot of people don't have this problem because either their family is actually normal and doesn't have these fucking issues, or they do and they've solved them. Unfortunately, our own personal lived experiences are not one-to-one with everyone else on the fucking planet. All that, and look at this motherfucker. We had war where brother fought brother. That's so wonderful. What about the rest of the fucking soldiers in that war? I'm so glad that we use that one obscure example to try to explain the rest of humanity. That's never gonna work. At least not here. I watch Amir on YouTube all the time. He's pretty good. I'm sorry, was this supposed to be a takedown of Amir? Was I supposed to be saying, fuck this gay guy? Or was I just supposed to be reacting to a video I found interesting? Emily?
without a family structure and without, close friends and family around you, this is great. This has worked out in your favor. And by being able to be a part of these online communities and, meet your spouse online or your best friends through internet, that's been great for you. You can finally find your sense of belonging and feel loved and happy. But I think what we're going to find out in this video, there's a lot of people that because of how easy it is to find a local community, it's that easy to trap yourself in it.
You're a bully? Absolutely. Absolutely. Family is family. You either choose to deal with it or you don't. I mean, dealing with it is by not dealing with it. And what I mean is, for example, for the most finite example possible, if you've tried and it's led to nothing but a bunch of finger pointing and guilt tripping, the best thing you could do is just be like, you know what? Fuck you people. Bye. That's what I did. I said, fuck all of these people. Not worth the headache. You people make me lose the hard on I came in with. It's not something I need to egg myself on with. Family or not, my gimmick is to be happy. I've spent too much time allowing other people, family specifically, to make me miserable. And ever since I've cut off a select number of individuals and have ignored them to the best of my ability, wouldn't you fucking know it? I've been happier. And you know what's crazy? I'm about to prove my point. The day before I went home, the sun was shining. It was a pretty good day. I go back home. It's gray outside. It's murky. I could just feel negative. And as soon as I came back, I was like, thank God I'm home. Not when I went back to where I was born, but when I came back to Texas, I said, oh, I'm home. Away from this horse shit. I make my own family. I mean, duh. I made my own. Of a select number of individuals who I know, we wouldn't have a terrible Thanksgiving. Like a soul sucker draining you. Just so anyone who wasn't here is well aware, for like the first 40 seconds to at least minute 30 of the stream, there was complete silence because I threw up everywhere. Just thought you all should know. I barfed. It was terrible. But cleaned it all up and still am here streaming. Why? Who cares? This sounds depressing. I mean, it's depressing for who wants to interpret it as depressing. For everyone else, it's just another day. I ain't gonna lie to you. If this was 2018, 2019, this would be depressing for me. But because it's 2024, this is just commonplace. It must smell nice in there. Oh, the bathroom smells like shit. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. The bathroom smells like shit. Don't get too drunk. It wasn't drunk. I overate. I overate. That's what it was. I wish I got drunk. Nah, I actually don't wish I got drunk. That probably would have made it more troublesome. Now I rescind my wanting to be drunk in that. No.
And that can be a lot of people's downfall, especially when you solely surround yourself with the people who think just like you and keep affirming your own ideas and narratives and motives that you have, and you're like blocking yourself out from what the real world actually is and how they feel. A big example of this being after the election, how many people are cutting off their family and friends just for them merely voting for Trump, which again is even crazier because that's coming from the party of love and acceptance and tolerance, and we're gonna get into that later. But as much of a blessing it is finding...
Bro, there's no party of acceptance and love. They're currently right now celebrating a guy dying because of health insurance. There's no party of love. The fucking pissants on the right who like to say, "Oh, I'm the party that fucking we tolerate all this commonplace and free speech," as they try to restrict every piece of speech that's not what they agree with. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It's this weird game played by a bunch of people who drastically want to be perceived as the place of holiness when every part of it is unholy.
People online and being a part of the online communities, it is a lot of people's downfall because it is that easy to surround yourself with people who are just going to love on you, support you, and pour into you. So yes, this is a good thing that people are able to find these communities online and find their what they call family. But damn, it makes it really easy for people to cut off their actual family just to be around people who keep affirming. Like that's why.
Yes, because they get tired of growing up in spaces where they try to be themselves and they get shut out by family members. You're not going to go where you're not appreciated and loved. And even in these. Do you think I surround myself with people who think just like me? Fuck no. I'm surrounded by a bunch of people who dare contest me on every single fucking thing I breathe. You know the difference between me and this chimp fuck and other motherfuckers who hold the belief of, damn, I need to find some community, yet they have their blinders on and they ignore every fucking bad thing, is that I'm able to call it out and go through my fucking life. And I can have conversation in civil dialogue with people who disagree with me. Can I do it with all of you? No, because some of you motherfuckers are just wrong. You try to argue yourselves into being right and it never works. And there's no point in talking to you. But the people I have in-house, do you know how many fucking, I'm using Peachy as a fucking example. She's the easiest. I'll tell her you all said hello, even though you didn't, you fucking liars. Fucking Peachy swears up and down still that dating podcasts hold benefit. They do not. They do not. I've explained it to her. She understands my point, and I understand her point. And you know what we do? We fucking argue about whose Sim's house is better, and it's clearly mine. Because I'm a decorated home. I'm a landscaper, fuckers. I got one of my closest friends. When I told him how much BLM sucks, you know what he told me with a straight face? That's a conservative talking point. Now, to one of you motherfuckers, you might get mad at that. To me, I just carefully explained in detail why that's not a conservative talking point. And guess what? He still doesn't agree, but at least he understands why I will never, and I mean never, fucking side with any fuck that openly says we need to support BLM. No, I don't. I actively gotta fucking get my heart on. That's what I gotta fucking do. None of that. No thanks. No circumstance under the sun. But what y'all need to do is stop parading around the world thinking you're right about everything when you know full fucking well you're wrong about a good majority of shit. You just are unwilling to accept it. And that's what I do on occasion. I willingly accept that I'm wrong about shit. Because it's just that easy. Your house probably looks like shit. What are you talking about? The interior design is magnificent. Belongs in a museum, if you will. Just because your house is empty and has nothing but a fucking string attached to it where you hang your shoes, this fucking establish any core belief system guy. How dare you? 3 months in the hole, if I were president, I'd lock you away for besmirching the land. My house is better. Looks boring. How dare all of you? How's my Sims going? What are you talking about? It's going great. Leon Land thrives. All the people are eating. They're surviving. None of them are. There's no famine. Who said there's famine? There's illegal reports of famine, and we've dealt with those illegal lies spread across the land. We've staged a top-tier mutiny upon the subject matter. How dare anyone come in and besmirch it? I heard there were rats. There were rats when I arrived. There were rats when I arrived, and we eradicated them. Simply, easily. You know why? Because I come in, and I solve all the problems.
I think it's so easy for people to cut off their blood family or to cut off their family or friends merely based on the fact that it's so easy to just be replaceable.
The left and the right both try to restrict speech. Yep. Let me ask you a question, just an honest one. Who do you hear more talking about free speech? Who do you hear more? Because on my end, who I hear more is those fucking conservatives. And the minute they do it, I instantly see them trying to lock away people's right to fucking speak about subject matter. And you know, it's just always interesting and free-willing and also perfect freeze frame.
It kind of, I mean, I'll touch on this in another video, so be sure to subscribe, but it relates to the dating culture, and how there's so many options out there where people aren't willing to just be with somebody that they like at the foundation of who they are and then grow with them together. Because people forget that we change, we grow up, we're different, our lived experiences. There's so much that goes on in our human life as we are alive and experiencing things, and we're growing and we're changing. But because of these communities, and especially the algorithm that trap you in your own little echo chambers, you get stuck, and then you get comfortable only being around the people who are feeding your ego. Because to me, family is just love. Like, we can be family and completely disagree on.
Family is not love, buddy. Hate to bring it to you. Family got way more dynamics than just love.
something, but as long as you're treating me with respect, and as long as you're always there for me and I'm there for you,
Because if you truly believe that, you go find that dad that abandoned you.
we're good. Families, I'm there for you. Families, like I said, but despite all our differences, I'm still gonna pull up and ride for you. I'm still gonna support you. I'm still gonna promote you. And for the biggest part for me is families respect. If you just respect me and you love me, that's huge. But you can't just listen. You can't just get by with disrespecting me and being rude to me and being nasty to me just because we're family. You don't think I'm not gonna go anywhere. For me, we don't need to be blood related for you to give me that idea of what a family is. So now, with all that being said, now that we have a baseline onto why families are changing, let's dive into some varying perspectives on what family is to some people cutting off their family, toxic family situations, and much more.
Millennials have really become the generation of cutting off family, cutting off parents, cutting off friends. And I'll tell you why. We grew up in a generation where we were told if a person was in authority, if they were above you, if they were an elder, if they were older than you, if they were a parent, if they were a grandparent, if they were a teacher, if they were whoever, you had to respect them because they were your elder and they were in a place of authority. However, most of the people in the generation before us used that authority in all the wrong ways. They used it to control and manipulate us instead of helping us.
What's the BS today? Family dynamics. I feel double speak here because on one instance he's like, hey, it's cool for you to not tolerate disrespect, but also you shouldn't be fucking finding a bunch of people to accommodate your fucking ego. So what's the point? What's our gimmick here? What's the flavor in which we're deciphering how to navigate this? The way to navigate this actually is find people who will basically respect you. Unfortunately, your blood family may not be that. You can find people who could disagree with you and still respect you at the end of the day. It's all a matter of what's that phrase or sentence? It's right on my urethra. Oh, it's getting to know them, right? Should you just be randomly walking up to individuals and be like, hi, friend now forever and ever and ever? No, you should just be fucking gelling with these people, seeing what they're all about, seeing if they actually vibe with you, and wonder through the ether if they're actually someone you could actually be around next year, the year after that, and the year after that.
Grow and teaching us things that we actually needed to know in the real world. We also grew up in a generation that watched the world change. We watched the internet come. We watched 9/11 happen. We watched wars start. We've been through a lot of shit. And most of us realize now that while we were going through that life-changing, the people that were supposed to have our backs and the people that we were supposed to be able to lean on weren't there.
Yep. They weren't there at all. And I think it's telling how, like she said, we're growing up and this is authority, this is authority, this is authority. And then to grow older personally and look around, I'm like, y'all are all wrong. You're lying. You're misleading. It's misinformation. It's like even outside of the news, but just how you're treating people around you. Like it's just very shady. It's like I'm supposed to be loving and respecting you and your authority the whole time. Like you're not. It's like the more we're growing up, the more we're realizing that we're all human. And it's my biggest gripe. I'm so sorry with certain people that, you know, act holier than thou and like, oh, I'm perfect, and this and that. And then behind the sheets, they are crazy. Like this idea of the whole authority thing, that's what it really went wrong because when I was supposed to lean on you, when I was supposed to lean on you for the information, when I was supposed to trust you and you're supposed to guide me through life, there were varying instances from family, friends, and even like mainstream media and corporations, whatever, that led us astray, led us wrong, and still want to act holier than thou and still want to act like they weren't in the wrong.
People that are saying, oh, all we tried to do.
It's almost like you shouldn't be consuming that anymore, but some people do, especially on that mainstream media aspect.
It was raise you right, and all we tried to do was make sure you could be a good functioning adult in the real world. No, all you did was give us trauma and send us on our way. And let me give you a hint. If we're cutting you out of our lives, it's not because of us. It's because we now have kids of our own, and we'll be damned if we let you do the same thing to them. Food for thought.
I mean, that is a good way to go about
be
it.
damned. I'm sorry what you're not about to do. Yeah, I've had these conversations of like, will I let certain people, like my kids that I adopt in the future, are they gonna be around that much? And I mean, unless the parents change, then no. Like you have me damned if I'm gonna.
Mainstream media is all media is brain rot. Do you realize that you watch a guy who yesterday spent, I think, 10 minutes talking about a bunch of anime fans? All media is brain rot, sister. We're doomed. We as a society are, as the younger kids say, cooked, fried, El Riz, all that good shit. We're doomed. We're damned. We are not the champions of this story. We're going to be fried for a long, long fucking time. Today, is it today? It's either today or tomorrow. You're gonna get a 16-minute fucking video about a fucking brony. There's not one. I feel like the only piece of media that's not brain rot. Well, I can't even say that because they're the motherfuckers who do food porn. So no, cooking's also brain rot. There's not one piece of media that isn't brain rot. I'm struggling. There's no piece of media that doesn't have brain rot in it. We as a society really do love brain rot shit. And you could fucking talk about, oh, we need to change this, we need to change that. You ain't gonna change shit, because you get rid of one, another one's just gonna show up and be the same level of brain rot, or if not more. Why the fuck do you think people are saying skibbity toilet? Because people love brain rot.
Put those kids through what I went through with you. It's like a lot of us, the millennials and the Gen Z, we're over the trauma. We are. And it's not to say that y'all, I'm not saying y'all, but like the Gen X hasn't gone through things either, but it's like we recognize that life is too short to be dealing with BS. And what I'm not about to sit here and do is put up with someone in my life just because they're family, when again, we live in a new world now. We have access to so many people and so many niches and hobbies where even right now, my spouse met online. Like my best friends have met online. It wasn't in my local community. And it wasn't, and I'm realizing more and more, there's a lot of community that do treat people better than their own families are treating them. And it's something to be said for that. And I'm not talking about the people who are just cutting off family because they disagree with politics. Those people are stupid to me. It's totally wrong. You shouldn't be doing that. But there is something.
You should absolutely do whatever the fuck you feel sanguine about. Because I guarantee you, it's not the only reason. That's the only reason they want to say out loud.
To be said for the years worth of trauma that a lot of people have gone through. It's a mixed bag. Like, yeah, the idea of family and its dynamic is definitely changing. And while it is for a good reason for a lot of people, like I said before, it can be a downfall for a lot of people who are willing to only be around family that thinks like them, friends that think like them, and keep feeding their ego without recognizing that you should be encouraged. You should be inspired to be challenged. Respectfully. Heavy on the respect. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and have a disrespectful debate. You start cussing, you're cut off. Not happening. We need to be having a thorough conversation if we do disagree. But yeah, I mean, it just boils down to respect and love. And if you're not giving me that, and we just so happen to be blood related, you aren't entitled to stay around me in my life. Sorry, not sorry.
This video is for anyone who doesn't understand why someone in their life might feel uncomfortable or want to distance themselves or not want to be in your life anymore because of your difference in political views. I just want to give you this example. Imagine you go to a friend of yours and you say to them, this person that I used to be friends with really hurt me, really disrespected me. And your friend agrees with you and they're like, yeah, that was really up. Like, I totally disagree with what they did to you. Like, that's not cool. That's not fair. And then you find your friend liking that person's photo or hanging out with that person. Your friend might not agree with what they did to you. They might recognize that it's fucked up, but it's not a deal breaker. They see the damage that this person has done to you and is continuing to do to you, but it doesn't matter. They're still supporting them because maybe they have a lot of money or they're really cool or they have the same hobbies as them. Those things are more important to them than you as their friend.
There's so much context in that example's a bad example. There's so much more that goes into that because it depends on what the friend did. Did they kill somebody? No. Did they do something effed up, but then they went through therapy and they're learning about it? Like, are they redeeming themselves?
Do you see what I'm saying? It's one thing to disagree with someone on policy, but when it comes to human rights, basic human rights, that's a whole other story. You might not be racist, but if the politician that you're supporting is, it's not a deal breaker for you. You might not be homophobic.
Here we go. She needs to be watching my other video. She really do. The fact that this election and so many people were cut off because it's like, it's not even about disagreeing, it's about human rights. Okay, if it's about human rights, why are so many of the humans that you're so like gung-ho about speaking for support him? You say it's for human rights, and why are so many record women voting for Trump? You say you talk about homophobia and racism, why?
Because the dumbasses got brainwashed into thinking that they gotta do that. That's why a lot of these motherfuckers, I ain't gonna say a lot, there's a percentage of motherfuckers right now going around thinking, did I just fuck up voting for this dude? Because they're seeing all these different institutions that are about to start facing a couple problems. I don't know if they're gonna be problems that are long-term. In the education system, in the finances for individuals who are selectively slow. There's going to be a lot of problems that they have to navigate under this. Certain jobs are going to have to deal with certain financial ramifications, along with the fucking tariffs. It's going to be a boring fucking stretch of understanding. And you know what? People tried to tell these motherfuckers about that. They tried to tell them about a good number of the cons that are going on. And they ignored it. They passed it off. Oh, you're being a woke SJW liberal retard. You're raging, all this shit. I mean, if you go on TikTok, you're going to see that. You're going to see exactly what you want. Some pink-haired motherfucker just saying, oh, you're a racist. But when you expand past that and you find motherfuckers that actually sat back and tried to say, hey, you might want to look into this because you're voting for a guy that wants to do this, or he has ties to this, or he has something that could be implemented that sounds exactly like this. And then when he has complete House and Senate control, it could happen, it could not happen. And the one monkey wrench is a bunch of motherfuckers who might say, hey, that's a little bit too fucking bad. Let's not do that. You're going to have people like, no, I can't gel with you because you're co-signing all this shit. That's a disaster. For example, this fucking tariff plan. That's going to be a disaster for us. It's a disaster for us. By us, I mean the common man, the you and I's, the 9-to-5 workers that everyone ignores until it's an election. There's shit there that really should make people think, do I want to vote for this? But no amount of thinking went into this election for a good chunk of people. And now it's just, oh, well, we'll see what happens. That's the state I'm in. We're just going to fucking see what happens over these 4 years. Either it's going to stay the same, by it, I mean this fucking country, or it's going to get worse. And all that, oh, it can't get worse than what it already is. Okay. That's a way to look at it. Have faith in yourself on that one, but I ain't got faith in that.
Why there's so many blacks and gays voting for him. It's clearly not that black and white. It's clearly more nuanced and more conversation to be had about why so many people were supporting Trump to begin with. So instead of cutting someone off because they voted for Trump, or because you think personally it is against a human right, if it really was against a human right, it's like, why are so many humans supporting him? And it's not because they're brainwashed.
A lot of motherfuckers, he says brainwashed, I just say uneducated. A lot of motherfuckers were uneducated about both of these politicians. They believed half-assed information without doing any research themselves. They refused to actually relent that, all right, I'm a Kamala supporter, but clearly I'm not going to fucking admit that she had problems over here with finances and dealing with certain things. And, oh, she was already the fucking president or vice president, so why could she do this? Or blah, blah, blah. And there's people on the Trump side that don't want to fucking admit that this tariff thing is a bad idea. It went from tariffs are going to be a great thing to do to now tariffs are a great strategic strategy to get all these fucking illegal immigrants across the border. He was never going to fucking enact those tariffs. He just did that to get all of these people to help him move shit across the border, which is going to be an interesting day one. I've said Trump got 4 years and I want to see shit 100% fixed. And there's no one in here that's going to tell me, well, he can't fix all those things 100%. Then why the fuck did y'all vote for him? Because those are the reasons I kept hearing. We got to do something about this fucking border. We got to do something about the eggs because the eggs is getting too high. The eggs is getting too high. I heard all this shit. And so in these 4 years, I hope Trump fixes it. Because if he 100% fixes it, y'all will never get a bunch of people to stop saying we need Trump as president until he dies. You'll never be able to stop them from saying it. And honestly, if he were to 100% fix it, it'd be difficult for anyone who already hates him to fucking get more people to hate him, because all the things he claimed he was going to do, he ended up doing 100%. And now a lot of shit's fixed. Motherfuckers are getting more money and all this shit. But that's a if. If things don't get fixed, why would they trust him? You already got the people who don't trust him. I'm just going to be looking square at the motherfuckers who voted and made all of this their voting issue and claim that he's going to do it all. If he doesn't, I'm looking square at you. I'm not even looking at him. I'm not looking at him. He's just the motherfucker y'all voted for. I got to look at y'all and wonder, are you ready to admit something? Or are you still uncomfortable admitting like you shouldn't be putting all your eggs in one basket, which is the shit I've been saying since 2019, and I get called an edgelord for it. But when everybody opens their fucking third eye to finally admit, oh, well, conservatives on this side are weird and Democrats on this side are weird, all of a sudden, I ain't an edgelord. I'm just the nigga that was right. Why? Because you're doing Chris dirty with it. Hannah, how have you been? Hannah, how have you been? I haven't seen you in quite a while. How have you? Are you all right? Are you doing well? Are you smiling? I hope you're smiling. You deserve to smile. I've been saying the same thing for a long time too. Yeah, but you got to understand, number one, you're Canadian, but jokes aside, you have a bunch of people who have these weird blinders on and they choose to ignore reality because they just want to fucking, I guess, be right. And the thing about being right is eventually you're going to have to accept the fact that you could be wrong. And being wrong is cool as long as you're able to learn from being wrong and go from there. But a lot of people can't do that. They just can't. That's why I keep telling you motherfuckers, you all suck. I suck. We all have our bad fucking moments. The best thing we can do is learn from it and move on. No one wants to be like Emily. No one wants to do this. Okay? You all want to be better than you were the previous day, or at least I hope so. If you're never wrong, then you never learn. That's true. I'm good. Be crafting. What the fuck are you talking about Minecrafting? You fucking Welsh? Are you Welsh or did you transition to British? I forgot. Clearly, I keep up with all current events.
Watch, especially when you want to hip and holler about the popular vote, and the man won the popular vote, there's more to the story.
But if the politician you're supporting it's not a deal breaker for you. You might not hate women, but if the politician you're supporting does, it's not a deal breaker for you. The people in your life want to feel loved by you, respected by you, safe around you. And if you're supporting someone who makes them feel the opposite, that's going to make them feel that way about you.
I understand that they're going to make them feel that way about me, but what that person, the other people aren't understanding is it's the left. It's that party. It's those kind of people that are like, you need to listen to black voices. You need to listen to queer voices. You need to listen to women. I'm doing that. There's blacks that love Trump, gays that love Trump, women that love Trump. So you're telling me to listen to these people. Oh, but then you tell me they're the wrong people because they're also the people who have to think like what you're trying to say. And that's where the argument and everything just crumbles apart. It doesn't make sense. You can't just label everybody who voted for Trump as a racist, as a homophobic, as a misogynistic, as the list goes on, when all those groups voted for the man to begin with. Instead of just, shivery timbers, if you voted for Trump, I'm cutting you off.
Hey, Leon, how bad is your day? I mean, I threw up earlier. That's about it. I threw up earlier. That's pretty much it. That's just how bad the day has gotten so far. I mean, it could get worse. I could get a phone call saying somebody died, but that has to depend on who it is, because depending on who it is, I might celebrate. Because I'm that type of motherfucker. Why are you so consistent all of a sudden? I don't know what you mean by all of a sudden. Daddy's been this way. A lot of motherfuckers don't like my consistency because they live in this weird fixation of, oh, he's supposed to agree with what I say. No. No. It's not how that's ever going to go. Did I just open a crate that had nothing but gold in it? Okay.
Look into why. We talked about this in my past video. Like, look into why someone voted for Trump and look into why other people of those same groups that you're listing off, the gays, the blacks, the women's, whatever, why aren't they? Why?
Streaming? Oh, you mean, why am I so consistent with streaming? What are you talking about? And didn't I say at the beginning of the fucking year I wanted to be more consistent with streaming? This is not all of a sudden. This is me trying to be consistent with streaming. The fuck? When I'm done here, I'm going on Twitch and I'm fucking finishing Detroit Become Human. Yes, finishing! I'm not stopping! And I might fucking play Marvel's Rivals. Maybe. I might do that first, honestly, just to get a feel for the fucking game, because I've never played it. Someone told me that that fucking game is going to be good, or is good, and I don't know about it. Finger bang. And then there'll be the motherfuckers like, why do you stream on Twitch? Twitch is such a bad platform. All these platforms are bad. The fuck? All of them. Rumble sucks. Fucking UI still sucks. Kick's UI still fucking sucks. Unfortunately for everyone, Twitch and YouTube are still the top dogs. YouTube, I think, tried to edge these motherfuckers out when it comes to streaming, and it didn't work as best as they had wanted it to. But still, it's still there for people to fucking consume. Oh, but Twitch has all these fucking people. So, YouTube has somebody spreading his bare ass on the fucking platform. Have you seen the GTA-like anime? No. And I don't want to.
Are there some of those people that aren't afraid of Trump? Look into that. But to sit here and cut people off because politics, yes, it is immature. Things are forever changing. And it's so funny to me because these people are talking about human rights, human rights. Why is your party fighting for the right to transition minors? What about that is a human right? When you have detransitioners screaming from the rooftops to stop letting this happen, and y'all keep talking about, I'm getting heated.
Oh, well, their excuse is, well, this is the most ironic fucking excuse in the world. The same group of people that's like, you got to listen to minorities, ignores the minority when it comes to transitioning. It's the detransitioners. I think the fucking statistic is like less than 1%. Oh, so we're not listening to the minorities then. It's almost like you should do this based on how you feel inside. You shouldn't let a bunch of outside perspectives influence you to do something so drastic to your fucking body. Why? Because that's stupid. And it shouldn't be done. Don't let the outside world influence how you do what you do to your body. It should be, well, I don't know, you. It's supposed to be you that fucking figures out how to navigate how you want to do with your body. If you're a grown adult and you look in the mirror and just be like, I'm a woman on the inside, and you get that sex change, Hearty golf clap. But if you're one of these motherfuckers who's just like, I gotta start, any confused motherfucker probably is just a fucking transgender deep in on the inside. What have you been up to, Leon? Well, I'm glad you asked. I threw up like 40 minutes ago. Wait, how long have I been streaming? 49 minutes? I threw up like 55 minutes ago. Since you wanted to know so bad. I threw up. It hurt. Like all of my fucking jaw just like hurts. Which sounds like I sucked the meanest dick, but I swear I didn't. You know what makes me mad? I hate whenever it's the holiday, liberal niggas gotta say, you're bad for celebrating this holiday. Think it's Christmas. I don't give a fuck what a motherfucker who ain't got no friends or family to fucking hang out with gotta say. Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it rain on my dick and blow. Like my abridged version of that most iconic song. You know what Christmas songs are underrated to a collection of people? The Phineas and Ferb Christmas songs. And I don't just mean one. The Doofenshmirtz song, the Just Let That Christmas Feeling Go, the Hanging on Top of the World. Like, these motherfuckers got a drastically underrated bag. Why are you the second person to accuse me of drinking as the reason I threw up? Bro, I overate. Which is the second time in my fucking life that I've overeaten and it's led to me throwing up. That's the second time this has happened.
Listen, y'all keep talking about it's not happening. Y'all keep talking about it's rare cases, it's this, and that, and oh my gosh, trans this, trans that. Shut it down. Shut it down. There's no reason that y'all are the same party, and I agree it's all wrong, but just for the sake of this argument, it's so crazy to me that this is the same party that says, yes, a 17-year-old shouldn't be having sex with a person, but you're also saying a 12-year-old can change their sex for life. Where is the logic? It's not adding up. It's all wrong. And you're so jaded and so blinded and stuck in your echo chamber and your bubble of wanting to protect the trans people, the gay people, the black people, whatever it may be, that you're actively ignoring the people who are speaking up. How are you letting...
That's wonderful, and I agree with you on that. Can we keep the echo chamber speak going for the people who just blindly follow Trump off of every fucking word they say it and then now jumping through hoops to try to explain away his fucking points to make it sound reasonable to people like me who look at him and hear what he's saying and thinking, that's not how economics works at all. That's never going to be how economics works at all. That's going to be the way to fucking ruin a collection of people's finances for the worse and not the better. If you ever get drunk, you have car keys in your hand, just know you're stronger than the law. If I get drunk and I'm outside of my house, I'm just going to sleep on the floor. Like when I go to my cousin's house and I get drunk, which I haven't done in like a year, I just go sleep on his fucking couch. That's really it.
letting yourself do that? How are you able to just put a giant blanket statement on somebody when it's the same people you're trying to defend supporting the damn man? Look into it and see why.
No, because if you are willing to cut off family, friends, anybody in your own personal life whose views don't perfectly align with yours, you're the problem right now.
Thank you. You literally are the problem. And it's complete. That's why I put all this in one video together. It's one thing to cut off your family.
You're someone who's got, not you, black man. You're someone that got cut off and you're trying to figure out some blanket excuse to try to make yourself look good. Sorry, but everyone doesn't want to be around somebody who supports some shit that they don't agree with. It's wonderful. It's cute that you live in the pie in the sky reality that you think you want to live in, but in reality, it's not how everybody's going to work. Everybody's going to fucking do their own. They're going to do the Miles Morales. They're going to do their own thing. And guess what? Let them do it. Let them be happy away from you. All the people online bitching that they've been cut off by their families and shit, it makes me think, all right, well, what are you? Like, how do you operate? Like, what's your, I was about to say, I will say, what's your fetish? What's your fetish? Like, what is it that makes a motherfucker just say, you know what, after this election, I'm cutting you off? Because I refuse to go with the understanding that it's just the election. There's more there. There's more not being said because people got to stick to one thing. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a perfect person to be around. I'm loud. I'm very blunt, which is not accepted amongst a lot of people. I drastically don't tolerate forms of disrespect as quote unquote jokes, and I give people the medicine they try to give me. I'm egotistical. Like, that's me to a T. And I got people who cool with that. I got people who not cool with that. And the people who aren't cool with that, guess who they're not around anymore? Me. Did it suck? Oh, yes. Is my life over? Oh, no. You know why? It's because daddy always finds a new fucking piece of flesh to fucking poke at and say, hello. I also am still scared of the human race, like to a T. You people frighten me. Your lives are so gross. I vomit. Yeah. I do all these things, and it leads to great dividends. I do feel lighter after throwing up. No wonder women do this shit to lose weight. Go there.
For family issues, for years of trauma, for years of abuse. I get it. We're getting into that too. But using an election and politics as a cop-out to cut off your family, no, ma'am. That says more about you as a person.
You're the problem right now, and I guarantee that kind of behavior will cause more of a divide in your own life than this election ever will.
Yep.
Okay? Your true colors are showing. I opened up Facebook this morning to so many posts saying, if you voted for this person, I don't care who you are, go ahead and unfriend me. I'm gonna let the trash take itself out. Okay, girl.
I'm not even interested in the stuff you said. I watch for the blunt personality. Oh. So you're telling me you're never interested? Where were you for my Mudahar video? Isn't that what? No, I don't fucking care about this shit either. And yes, that is Juice WRLD. They put Juice WRLD in Fortnite. Great investment. I categorically agree with this investment. If you say don't put all your eggs in one basket, sorry if I'm mistaken, but why do you label as a Christian? You talking about me? I don't think I've ever once labeled myself as a Christian. I don't think that's my forte. That really ain't my forte, now that I think about it. Why is it a problem that people are cutting others out of their life? That's their choice. That's what lets me know, like, people like her, and maybe, depending on the circumstance, people like him, they can't handle the fact that no one wants to be around them. And now they got to come up with this psychoanalyst babble of, oh, well, the problem might be you. And the problem is you want people to agree with you all the time. Not really. I don't care. Some people have dealt with family tormenting them, in some cases abusing them, their entire lives. And now that they're older, they were waiting for the one moment of confidence to be like, you know what? Fuck this. I don't have to fucking put up with this. And that election for a lot of people was it. That election for a lot of people was the way for them to fucking say, you know what? I don't have to deal with this. I make my own money. I don't even live here. Cut them off. I may not be the best Christian. I think I might have, if I said that, probably. What I probably should have said in all actuality is I'm not the best follower of God, because I'm not. But Christians are fucking blind as fuck, because they'll do everything against the Bible. For example, somewhere in the Bible, there's something about not judging. We're all going to hell. Them Christians going first. Those Christians are going to be the first motherfuckers at the rocky gates, at the burning gates.
I do not care who you voted for, but I do care how you're treating people who voted differently than you.
And you talk about the democracy.
Let me hear that one more time.
I do not care who you voted for, but I do care how you're treating people who voted differently than you.
And you talk.
Here's the thing, and I'm going to be interested to hear what you have to say. If you're saying that, you have to be someone who's never made fun of your opposition politically. And unfortunately, for a lot of conservatives, all that whining and fucking crying, cutting you off, like the same party that a week before the election was calling that lady the Antichrist. So are we keeping it a spade, or are we only doing this because we got cut off by people who voted for Kamala? Like, what's our end goal and our gimmick here?
But it's a democracy, and Oprah on stage talking about this is the last election you can ever vote in. But how are you vilifying somebody for exercising their free right that you fight for the right to vote? To sit here and say you're for democracy, freedom, and fair elections, then what? It's an election. You have options, and people are electing. Why are you mad and vilifying the people who are electing the people that you don't want to be elected? Yeah, I'd be salty if Kamala won right now, but like...
Yet, your entire point is invalid. You'd be salty if she won, so that means you'd bitch at all the people who voted for her. You have other people who are like, oh, you're voting for communism. You're voting to live under a dictatorship of communism and all this shit.
I'm not going to sit here and cut off my whole family and friends because of it, and it's funny because the majority of the people on the left that are cutting off their friends who voted for Trump. Make that make sense. Party of love, inclusivity, positivity, equality, all the good vibes. Make it make sense. It's not happening.
And that's what it really boils down to. I have close friends in my life who I know voted differently than me, and I'm not unfriending anybody because of the way they voted. But I will be unfriending anybody who is like openly bashing and blocking their own brand on the Facebook comments, because that is telling me all I need to know about you as a person.
All I need to know about you as a person. In my next video, I did one. I'll make it because I know it's gonna be useful for so many people. But I'm making a video talking about like if you got canceled by your friends for voting for Trump. Oh, almost dropped over my water. If you got canceled for voting for Trump. I am gonna put the video. It's just an emotional one. It's just draining because it's like I've lost so many friends and family just for voting for Trump. Oh my gosh.
Remember what I said about how motherfuckers are only saying these things because they got cut off? Leon Wright, once again. I love being right. It's satisfying being right. These people are butthurt because friends and family cut them the fuck off. That's literally all this shit is, bro. You fucking... Leon can see all the patterns. You know why I can see all the fucking patterns? It's because I'm a normal human being. Like, unfortunately, I've been cut off. And it sucks. It stings. But you know what? I've chalked myself up to, hey, I'm not for everybody. I'm not a pleasant motherfucker to be around. And you know what? I live with it. I live with it. I gotta live with it. Because if I don't live with it, fuck. Then I don't learn from nothing. But to do that, but to learn that, hey, you're not everybody's cup of tea and just, go where you're loved. I'll be honest. If I was his brother, I wouldn't speak to him ever again. But not because of Trump. It's because I'm certain there's an asshole under all of that. There's an asshole. He just oozes asshole that he doesn't want to admit is an asshole.
It bothers me. I say it doesn't, but it low-key does because it's just like, how are you cutting off people just because of politics? It blows my mind, G. When I was on the left going to the right, it was the people on the right who were so open to hearing me out and so open to have conversations with me, but the people on the left...
Yeah, bro. Just make sure you don't go into the wrong spots with conservatism. You might be like that one gay guy who fucking... You can end up like that one gay guy who ended up just going around. He went to a convention, and got called a British cigarette by a bunch of people there. Just make sure you find the good ones, because honestly, you might not find them.
They don't want to do that. Why? Makes no sense to me. So be sure to subscribe. I'm gonna drop that video. It's gonna be talking about how to lift your spirits if you did get canceled by some friends or family.
Oh my God, gay! Here's how you do it. Here's how you do it. Here's how you do this. If you feel as though you've come into a scenario where you can no longer mingle and gel with your family because of, say, politics or any of these fucking reasons, do the thing that those single bitches claim they do, but they really don't. Go where you're loved. Find people that may agree with you or even still respect you and still want to talk to you when you disagree. Don't make a disagreement be the end of your life. And also stop trying to act like you're this great, loving person also. Because the condescending, Buddy gives me vibes of, yeah, I wouldn't want to hang around him for too long. Reason being, he seems like very catty. Seems like a type of motherfucker who wouldn't be trustworthy as much. And if you catch him on it, he gives you the blind excuse of, oh, well, you must think about it this way. And it's his way. I get a bad vibe. He got called a lot of slurs. Yes, I don't even know that fucker's name. Not him on the screen, but the other gay conservative. That fucker went to that convention thinking that everybody was going to welcome him with open arms. No. And then you remember he went and played victim on CNN. And more conservatives got on his ass for that. I was like, you ran to CNN to fucking bitch about this? Why?
I hear you. There's a lot of us out there, and it's just a little, like, to just show you that, you're not the only one going through that, and to keep your heads up because it's so much better.
That's so wonderful. You're going to spend probably 40 minutes making that video. All you got to do is realize it took me 2 minutes to say what I had to say. It is a world full of people who disagree with one another. It is a world full of people who don't all align with each other. And it would be so much better if everybody just realized that we all disagree and continued as such, but it won't be. People have lines. People have lines in what they want to fucking tolerate and respect. Tolerate and what they want to deal with. It is an honest thing that has gone on since the dawn of time. People not agreeing. Some people, that's their end all be all because they wouldn't expect a layer of disrespect in terms of conversation and knowledge coming from a certain group of people. They wouldn't expect that at all. They didn't expect that at all, but they got it and they don't know how to deal with it other than to say, you know what? This is not for me. You are not for me. This conversation is unproductive. We go one way, you go the other way.
So much more going to bed with a smile on your face.
But people can't fucking, I can't tell it's easier to go to bed with a smile on your face. You're sitting here bitching and crying and moaning that other people are cutting people off. Especially if they're not tied to you. Like, didn't this bitch talk about something? I will be unfriending people who block their grandmas for this shit. So you don't know these motherfuckers. You just caping for a set of circumstances you're unaware of. Right.
It's knowing you stand up firm in your beliefs and you can back them up, you know why, and you are acting out of respect and love and you're open.
Oh, so it's cool to stand for your beliefs when you're on this camp, but when others stand for their beliefs and cut you off, that's a problem for you? That's an issue that you take umbrage with? People not being with you and aligning with you and all that rah-rah next to the rah-rahs?
Minded, because you can stand in your beliefs, so be open-minded to them being changed with other facts and receipts. Totally.
The problem is people tried to open minds and didn't really net a positive. That didn't net a positive. All those people tried to fucking open minds. I ain't gonna say all of them because you got people like Hassan who failed. You got people like Hassan who failed. You got people like Cenk Uygur also failed, and now he's fucking running around like, oh, I was a conservative the whole time. Oh, I was doing good. I'm doing good listening to all of these introspectives and takes and all this shit. You got the lunatics who see nothing wrong with their political party. There were people who tried. Should it have been more? Absolutely.
Fine, respectable.
Unfortunately, family are the ones that get the most comfortable with disrespecting you and harming you because they figure, well, she's not going to go anywhere. She's not going to do anything about it.
Why are you showing examples that prove my point and then dismissing it with, oh, you shouldn't cut people off because of politics? They were comfortable disrespecting you throughout that. They were comfortable disrespecting you throughout that whole process. And this could also be a part of that process. Unfortunately, it's not as mundane as one would like it to be. What the fuck is going on in Fortnite right now? What are we doing? What are we fighting?
But eventually, once you cut them off, then they see, like, I couldn't just continue to do that to her.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that are dealing with family members who, well, they're never going to go anywhere, so it's fine. We're family. It goes back. If you haven't seen other videos, you have to go watch them. Why millennials are cutting off parents and the reactions of parents who millennials have cut them off. Juicy. But it goes back to the old statement of, like, well, it's your mom. Well, it's your dad. Who? Where is he?
So it's wonderful. I hate this video. So it's cool to cut them off because they think they're family, but if it's over politics, it doesn't count. Is that what I'm supposed to understand here? It doesn't count if you cut them off for this reason, but it counts if you cut them off for all of these other reasons. I'm beginning to see why your dad left you.
He's been gone. He's nothing more than a sperm donor. I'm sorry, there's a difference between having a dad.
Well, I'm sorry, but that's not how family works. It's your family. And if you're cutting your dad off because, he's a sperm donor that abandoned you, I think that's not fair. You see how stupid I sound? Does anyone see how stupid I sound? That's what I'm getting from that last video that he had on the screen and him. Like, oh, it's unfair that you cut your family off for this reason, but it's perfectly fair that you cut them off for this reason. It's almost like every single person here, I have no idea because my shit's broken, how many people are watching. I'm just going to go with 10. There's 10 of us here. You motherfuckers all have a line in which you tolerate in terms of respect and disrespect. And when a motherfucker crosses it, especially now that you're older, you're not going to deal with it anymore. It's a fair way to look at life. You're not wanting to deal with disrespect anymore. You're too old. It's gotten to that point. You are too fucking old to deal with this shit. No matter what the reason. No matter how it all goes. But when you start playing this silly little fucking game of, no, you seem unreasonable. How about you go find your dad and figure out his perspective on why he left your ass?
And having a father. There's a difference between having a mom and having a mother. These titles matter, and you're not going to sit here and reduce this damn sperm donor that's out here on the streets and try to relate to him and try to call him, well, he's your dad, that's your father. No, he's not.
Now replace sperm donor who abandoned child with person who voted for Trump. You see how everyone still has that line of what they're going to tolerate? I don't think anybody should tolerate a father who just abandons the clique. I think that's dumb. I don't think you should do that. But when we're setting these rules, I hope we're following them. I hope we follow these fucking rules. Wouldn't it be better if we followed those rules that we set instead of only grandiosing about it and making sure that, oh, all of you follow it, but I don't have to because I'm the one who set the rule? Right.
Listen, you got the wrong one. That's just not how it works. And this extends out into...
But that's your family member. And if the problem is you, remember how people who cut them fucking selves off, they're not loving and understanding? You're not very loving and understanding to your father who abandoned you. You should be loving and understanding to the father that abandoned you. And you should get his side of the fucking story. Don't you think? Right? Would that be good? Would that be good for you? Right? I don't sound stupid as fuck at all. I sound just like you. And you're talking as if you're the most intelligent in the room. Right? Right?
The years of abuse that people are dealing with from their family members or just toxicity. I don't need... It's so convoluted. After years and years of going through stuff, there's no need for me to keep you around just because we're blood related.
Oh, well, you're cutting your family off. That's not fair. That's not good. You shouldn't do that.
Especially if there is no respect. I am all down for keeping with this idea of the family's changing. We're saying that. The ideas of family and how communities is forever changing with the internet. But I'm totally down for family, like blood related and people being around and supporting people who've seen you grow up and you've seen them grow up. Even if you disagree on certain things, but as long as you're always respectful, you're always going to be family to me. That's just
There's the sugar. So as long as they're respectful to you, it's good. But those are your rules. But when a motherfucker cuts you off because you're not respectful to them and their ideas and how they think, it's bitch hour because you're the one that stated you're making a video about, oh, I've been cut off because I voted for Trump and all that. So it's cool when you do it. It's a problem when they do it. Fuck them.
the tea. Like I
know that's not how the song goes, but I needed it to match the vibes that he's giving off.
And, you know, my best friend, she is like a sister to me. We grew up together. There's pictures of us when we were like 2 months old together. That is like my sister. We don't talk every day. We don't talk every week, but I am definitely doing what I can to help support her, and I'm always gonna be there for her. And that's family to me. We may not agree on every topic, but we've supported each other. We've gone through so much, so many childhood memories. It's like, that is family. And just because we are blood related doesn't mean I need to keep you around. And that makes you family, because what that woman's saying, it's so true.
It's a really tricky subject. I haven't healed all the way yet from the things that my family have done to me, and they've done some pretty unforgivable things.
And another part that frustrates me about all this is how many people like that woman, like me, like some of my closest and dearest friends, who have either lost a parent, or parent has abandoned them, or parent has been so toxic to them for years that they're dealing with all these family struggles and they're going through all this emotional healing and trauma. And you have all these people dealing with that, and then up walks in somebody who's cutting off their family because of political views.
You are greatly diminishing how someone has gone through their entire life. You have only heard the one part. You have not heard the full scope of their background. What a great way to diminish anyone's feelings about this. Just as much as I could diminish your father giving up on you because you're worthless. You see how we don't get anywhere by diminishing people's feelings, and you're not opening yourself up to listen to those people expand upon their reasonings for why they cut off family members? Because a lot of these stories aren't just, oh, he voted for Trump, I don't have a father anymore. A lot of this is the antagonistic behavior. A lot of these motherfuckers who go around and disrespect people on a daily fucking stroll. A lot of these motherfuckers who are uneducated on a goddamn thing. There's more to a story than just, oh, he voted for Trump. Neener, he's not invited to Thanksgiving. The fucking woman, that post we all fucking saw, I think it was the last stream or the stream before that. Am I an asshole for kicking out my family on Thanksgiving? And the motherfucker detailed that, yeah, she got motherfuckers in her family that voted for Trump, but they came in there antagonizing and being disrespectful to her in her house. If that's me, oh yeah, everybody out. And any motherfucker that tries to put that's family me, you out too. The disrespect shall not be a part of the story. The revolution not getting televised that way. But because we got too many motherfuckers who are so sanguine and thinking that, oh, my layers of backstory is so important. Oh, my layer of backstory means more. All right, fuck you. As much as you are quick to diminish their feelings, they can diminish yours. I'm going to do it. Fuck your father. I'm proud of your father for leaving you and abandoning you. You deserve to get left. What the fuck? When the fuck did Fortnite start selling cars in this bitch?
We are not the same. I'm sorry. We're not. And I hope this video is laying clear the difference. And don't put me in that same basket. Are there family members I don't talk to? Yeah. Do I not talk to my sperm donor? Yeah. But you're not going to equate that to homegirl liberal that's cutting off her family just because they voted for Trump. That's derangement, and that shouldn't be done. But I will agree, and I keep saying it. Family's changing. The idea of family, the idea of the communities, it's all changing.
I just saw a creator posted a video talking about the fact that when people go no contact with their family members, specifically they were talking about parents, it's not because of something that happened to them when they were 11, it's because of repeated continues of patterns of behavior from their parent. And that resonated with me really hard because I have an abusive childhood and I have no contact with a lot of my family. And a lot of them walk around and make it seem like I'm just bitter and miserable for things that happened in my childhood that happened 20, 30 years ago. And that couldn't be any further from the case.
And that rings so true to me because, like I was just mentioning, there's so many people that cut off their family because of one thing that happened. One election, one this, one that. When it's people like me, my friends, homegirl right here, who's been going through things for years, G, and that's why things are changing. You know, they're cutting people off. That's why people are cutting off their family. I'm sorry.
Yes, those things happen. They had lasting impacts on me, and I was mad about them for quite some time. I'm not gonna lie about that. But I spoke to most of my family well into my 20s, so it was not something that was happening to me when I was 15. Rather, every single body that I cut off, I cut them off because I had a eureka moment after an active engagement with them. Like, when I say that, I mean, like, I'm actively engaging in conflict or conflict resolution with them, and I had a eureka moment where I realized this person is never gonna change.
Yep, and that applies to...
Does he not get it? Does he not get that what he just listened to applies to each motherfucker that said I'm cutting family members off because they voted for Trump? Is he not listening to what she's saying? She just said she had a eureka moment. You know what all those other motherfuckers' eureka moment was? Their family member voting for Trump. The call is coming from inside the house. Is he not? Am I not paying attention? Is it me? Do I not get it? You know what? Let's listen to the whole thing over again.
Their family members, specifically they were talking about parents.
That was me knocking on my fucking desk. Shut up.
It's not because of something that happened to them when they were 11, it's because of repeated...
They got for family just because they voted for Trump. That's derangement, and that shouldn't be done. But I will agree, and I keep saying it, family's changing. The idea of family, the idea of the communities, it's all changing.
I just saw a creator posted a video talking about the fact that when people go no contact with their family members, specifically they were talking about parents, it's not because of something that happened to them when they were 11, it's because of repeated continues of patterns of behavior from their parent. And that resonated with me really hard because I have an abusive childhood.
For example, you go through all your fucking life, you're getting all this fucking shit from your family, and you're just swallowing it because, oh, it's your parents, it's your uncle, it's your grandfather, it's your cousin, all this shit. Then you get older. Your eureka moment is, oh, they voted for Trump. And I've tried to explain, I've tried to talk to all these people about how it wouldn't be beneficial to vote for him for this reason, that reason, and the third reason. And they still did it. That's a eureka moment. That's a eureka moment. That's a moment where people will fucking look at it and be like, no. Someone comes over to your Thanksgiving and shit talks your favorite football team. Oh, they're out. Get out. The fuck out of my house. You're not coming in my home disrespecting my fucking football team and think you're going to stay. Not in this house. In this house, you're a Broncos fan or you die.
I have no contact with a lot of my family.
You do not know. You don't die. You don't die.
And a lot of them walk around and make it seem like I'm just bitter and miserable for things that happened in my childhood that happened 20, 30 years ago. And that couldn't be any further from the case.
And that rings so true to me because, like I was just mentioning, there's so many people that cut off their family.
The Broncos are an 8-5 football team with the potential to make the playoffs. Will they go to the Super Bowl? No. I'm a realistic fan. I am not unrealistic as fuck. I realize that if we get to the wild card, if the playoffs started today, we're facing the Buffalo Bills and we are going to get our asses handed to us. Like soundly. Soundly. Like if the playoffs started tomorrow, we'd be going against the Bills and we would lose. There's no way around that. We would lose in categoric fashion. And it wouldn't even be funny. It'd just be a detriment to my well-being.
Because of one thing that happened. One election, one this, one that. When there's people like me, my friend's homegirl right here, who's been going through things for years, G, and that's why things are changing. You know, they're cutting people off. That's why people are cutting off their family. I'm sorry.
Yes, those things happen. They had lasting impacts on me, and I was mad about them for quite some time. I'm not gonna lie about that. But I spoke to most of my family well into my 20s, so it was not something that was happening to me when I was 15. Rather, every single body that I cut off, I cut them off because I had a eureka moment after an active engagement with them. Like, when I say that, I mean, like, I'm actively engaging in conflict or conflict resolution with them, and I had a eureka moment where I realized this person is never going to change.
Yep. And that applies to family. That applies to friends.
That applies to reasons. That applies to reasons. That applies to reasons. That applies to reasons.
There are moments when you just talking to somebody and they're talking to you and you just check out. You're just like, oh shit, this is never going to change.
What? Does he not know what he's saying? Is he not aware of what he's saying right now?
At that eureka moment with my father, with my sperm donor, my dad. I've seen that man maybe 5 times since 2015, maybe 5 times. And there was a moment in 2017, he was in a car with me, and we were driving to the liquor store, which so annoying. And I'm sitting here, we're chatting, and I'm like, damn, these really checked out. Like, this is just useless. He's like an empty void of a human being. It was so crazy to me, but I know the exact feeling that she's talking about.
No.
Right. So you know how it feels when you're in a moment in time talking to a motherfucker and then you realize this nigga ain't gonna change a shit thing. Right, so you do get it. Do you get it in all avenues of the aspect? Probably not. Seems like you might miss a couple points along the way. Oh my God, he has a katana.
Nothing is ever going to be different with this person. Who they were when I was 11 years old and who they are now is the same person. And while they cannot...
The same person, that's crazy. That's actually crazy. They're literally the same person. That's literally my father. That when he's the same person from when he left the family when I was like 4 or 5. He's identical. He's the same person. And I had that moment when I was in my car, in my name, driving this grown man around with no car, no home, no barely, no money, reloading off at everybody. I'm sitting here like, this is my dad. I'm supposed to be looking up to my dad. He's supposed to be around. He's supposed to be like such a good manly figure. And I've lived more life than him. And I was like 19? I think 19 at the time, 19. Crazy. But yes, they're the same person. That man is a grown child. He's the same person who I was as a kid. And there's nothing going to change with that.
Right. Now, just for a moment, imagine, everyone right now, imagine you're dealing with somebody who's always antagonistic, always rude, always disrespectful to you as you're a child growing up into your teen years. And now, let's say, for the sake of the argument, you're 25 years of age. 25. And this is going to be maybe your first time voting as like a fully fledged grown adult. And you, based on your research, you voting for Kamala, and you have a couple family members that are voting for Trump, and you're not disrespectful about it. You just say, hey, this guy and his policies, it seems like it won't get better because you're someone who talks about eggs. You care about the future of your eggs and the prices of them. Well, because of all of the tariffs that he wants to put in place, it may get to a situation where you're not really going to see an increase or a decrease in the price. You're going to see an increase because literally everything you're fucking holding in your house right now is made from China. And if you tariff them, there's going to be an uptick in prices for all these things, even when you have the made in America ones, because they're going to want to match the prices of all the shit, which means your potential $3 eggs could turn into $8 eggs. And you try to be respectful as all fuck, and it doesn't work and they still vote for him. Then afterwards, let's say at Thanksgiving, you invite the family over because, hey, it's family. And then they spend too much fucking time talking about that fucking election. And you say, you know what? Man, fuck, get out. Just get the fuck out. You're never going to change. That sounds like a... Eureka moment. Oh, they're not going to change. They're always going to be in this non-descriptive, want to listen to any points but outside of their own. Oh, something awakened this way come. That's crazy.
Me the same way because I'm no longer a child. If I'm going to have a relationship with this person, I have to be willing to subject myself to constant disrespect.
She's spitting. I'm so happy. I love this. It's unfortunate, but she's spitting so many facts. I just feel like so related to right now because for so long I was told, I mean, but that's your dad. You have to have a relationship with him. You should talk to him. You should hear him out.
Let's just agree that they were both garbage. I mean, I brought that point up and people got mad at me for that. I thought that was the virgin cue. Well, this could be whatever. This is primarily the virgin cue, but it fits so well with my monologue in my head that I had to go with it.
Why? Literally why? Because we're blood. That doesn't cut it anymore.
I'm sorry. I don't have like a ding. In terms of soundboards, all I have is a song I can't play because of copyright. The fucking ding ding ding. The Bo Leave.
Go fuck yourself.
The fuck you. The Alex Jones disgusting.
Disgusting. Disgusting.
And my new now favorite one, since the gaming, which is I can't play that. I can't segue into that after making that comment. God damn it. Fuck it, I'm gonna do what I want anyway. My stream.
You know, I like the way your booty looks when you bend over. I like that a lot. Very sexy.
Why is Chris in the thumbnail? Is that what you asked me, bro? Is that what you asked me, bro? Why? Why are you asking me that? What's the problem? Chris can't be in my thumbnails? Why can't Chris be in my thumbnails? White woman? You got a reason? You got some circumstance behind it? No? I thought not.
And like I said, I'm gonna have to.
Because I was wondering. Well, fuck. Because I couldn't fucking figure out what type of thumbnail to grab from any of these fucking photos that I have on this fucking PC. So I just went with that because he just looks so fucking weird. He's got that fucking evil villain haircut. It's just, it's so gross. He's so gross. Did he burn down an orphanage? He could have. And none of us would be the wiser. Also, hey, Baymax. It's Baymax, the character from that Disney movie I've never watched. I've never seen whatever movie he's in. I've never seen whatever movie he's in. I've never fucking seen it.
Willingly subject myself to constant disrespect and disappointment for what? Literally for what? Especially when I'm a grown adult taking care of my own business, I am way happier and in control of all the boundaries that I put up around my life with certain family members this way and that way.
So, do you not see that same logic could apply to a motherfucker who doesn't want to deal with somebody who voted for Trump?
Have to do that. You have to protect your peace. You have to look out for yourself because.
So you got to protect your peace. I'm loving this. I'm loving the you got to protect your peace aspect. But if you're protecting your peace in a way that I don't like, oh, that's a problem for me. Ha! I say what? I say who's-ka, Mamuska, Mickey Mouse, Mickey.
Relying on this idea again, the family's family is why.
I've never watched Big Hero 8. Like, I'm sorry. Or what is it? Why did Squatchin say Big Hero 8? Is it Big Hero 8 or Big Hero 6? I know it's one of them. So if anyone comes out and it's like Big Hero 17, I know you're lying. But I know it's like a single digit number. I just don't know if it's 6 or 8. It's Big Hero 6? Okay. I knew if anybody came here, like, it's Big Hero 20. I knew you were lying. But look, it's Baymax. Look at Baymax. Look at Baymax fly. Look at Baymax fly. Isn't this? I don't know his character arc in that fucking movie. I just know it's Baymax. I just know Baymax is there. I just know, look at Baymax. Look at Baymax.
There is so many people struggling with their families to this day. And again, I'm not talking about the little crappy political issues and
so you're demeaning. You're again demeaning people and how they've had to live and deal with certain people who fixate on all this shit. So in the midst of you demeaning motherfuckers, you try to pick and choose who's right to cut off their family. Bitch, you don't dictate who cuts off whose family. For all of that, you should fucking be, I was about to say accosted. You should be criticized for cutting off your father. So what if he abandoned you? Oh, tough shit. You see how easy it is to follow his logic and to get him mad?
They voted for Trump, this is that. No, I'm talking about people who have the crappiest parents, G. The crappiest parents.
That's so wonderful that you're basing it off of who had the shittiest life. That's not how life works. People cut their families off for whatever reason that they feel valid for cutting them off. If it's because of Trump, if it's because of built up frustration and Trump, if it's just because of built up frustration, guess what? whoever y'all fucking cut off, you're valid for doing it. Because guess what? Whatever reason you had is a reason that makes you happy, knowing that now you don't have to deal with that shit for the rest of your life. You are now happier because you made a choice. And they may not like it, but guess what? Tough shit. I'm speaking as a person who's been cut off. I didn't like it, cried about it, found new people to bother, and they like me. And that's all I could ever fucking hope for. Woohoo. Honestly, I never went to Thanksgiving dinner with my family. I've stopped doing it because it's a waste of my fucking time. I'm never allowing myself to participate in Christmas activities ever again. Why? Because last year I did it. Boy, did it suck. And you know what should have told me to not go? So for some reason, I keep getting put in family group chats that I keep leaving, which will end up with me having to block a bunch of numbers because I'm tired of this shit. And they plan their little Christmas moment out, and I'm sitting here looking, and I'm like, this shit is gonna be boring as fuck. And so I just asked in that group chat, mind you, they were all communicating in that fucking group chat. I asked a simple question: what is there to do for somebody who's not wanting to play card games and drink? All of these people suddenly act like their phones didn't work because I didn't get a response for a couple of days. And then when I did get a response, it was, oh, well, just bring your game since you want to be like that. And honestly, at that moment, I should have fucking looked at my phone and canceled that fucking flight. I should have canceled my fucking flight right there. But I told myself this much: never again. We not doing this next year. We gonna protect that sanity next year. Because if I get drugged into doing some shit I don't want to do, somebody gonna die. I'm gonna be that aggravated and that agitated. I'm gonna want to fight. And these motherfuckers came up with a brilliant idea. Let's all go on a family Christmas cruise. Nope, not happening. And them motherfuckers tried me. It was like, oh, we gonna tell your mama you're not going. I called my mama and told her, listen, fuck these people. I don't know who they think they are, thinking that they can run to you to think you gonna change my mind, but I ain't participating. You can have fun. Like I'ma never be mad at my mama for going on any fucking vacation that she wants to. That's a grown woman who dedicated time to taking care of her kids, making sure people stayed safe and all that shit. If that lady won't go on vacation, I salute her anytime she go. Don't ever involve me. Do not ever recommend me. Don't ask me to go. Don't ask me to show up, because the answer is no. Well, why is the answer no? Don't you want to go on vacation? Yes, I've gone on vacations. I've gone on vacations unannounced to the general public. I went to Atlanta and no one knew about it. And you know what I did? Bullshit. I just bullshitted because I wanted to go to Atlanta. At some point next year, I'm going to DC. I'm not going during January. I'm not going at any point during that fucking inauguration. Nope. No, I'm not. Nope. It's gonna have to be at some point in February or March or April or May or June or July. At some point next year, I'm going. Why? For reasons that I want to fucking do it. Do you have hoes in Atlanta? No. Leon's dick is clean. We don't gamble with our penises like that, children. But I can't. I for my own sake. Did you have fun in Atlanta? Stop asking me about Atlanta. This is why I don't tell you people my life. It's all of a sudden you start asking me questions. Did you have fun? What type of fucking question is that? You might as well just call me a British cigarette. I'm
keep them around because you're family.
I'm traumatized. Can't you tell? I'm not good with questions being asked to me. Oh,
wait, that's not family.
Did it rain? See? How am I supposed to answer that? You want a yes or a no? I can't answer that. The pressure's on.
You should not be being treated that way. If it's years and years and years of abuse and you're the only party trying to reconcile and change something, or they are trying to change something too and they aren't changing, that doesn't cut it. That's disrespectful. You don't deserve to keep them in your life just because they're family.
And being manhandled. And I decided that I didn't want a relationship with them that bad. It makes them feel better to tell themselves it's because I'm bitter and I'm holding on to the past, but they are the same exact person when I was 11 years old that they are today. They have not changed. They're not going to change. And that was the realization that I had to come to. It's not what happened to me at 15. It's what happened to me at 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. For all the years
Come on
I'm in
now.
contact with you, I keep having the same experience.
The same experience every single year, same thing going on, rinse and repeat, time and time again. And there's so many people that are subjecting themselves to this right now. Probably if you were watching this right now, constantly keep around these people just because they family whole time. They're aiding to your toxicity in your life. Do you not realize that your thoughts control more than you realize? Do you not realize that your emotions, your stress levels play a direct link into how your body is responding? You can think about something and change something in your body. The best example for this, you can have a little a little thought, and a physical reaction happens. So that is a perfect example of a thought, something you're thinking about going through your body and making a physical reaction. So all these negative thoughts you're having is creating stress, it's creating inflammation.
Again, the call is coming from inside the house, because you know who also feels and goes through that shit? Motherfuckers dealing with family members that are egotistical about voting for Trump. Because you know that feeling isn't just around, yes, you just proved it. It's not just around trauma. It's based around, the smell or words, sounds. You're diminishing people's thoughts, feelings, because how dare they cut you off because you voted for Trump? Cry about it, bitch. Go make up with your fucking father. Since you want to be all sanguine and all this shit, go make up with your father. First of all, find him.
Which leads to chronic inflammation, which can lead to chronic stress, headaches, migraines, body aches.
And when you have people who don't want to deal with that, they're well within their right to cut it off. No matter the reason. No matter the reason. If they don't want to deal with that shit anymore and they try to conflict resolute and all they're met with is disrespect and they don't have the energy for it, they're within their right to cut it off. And yeah, some of it's going to be because you fuckers voted for Trump.
Diseases, it literally, getting rid of toxic people in your life will change your entire life for the better. I'm not advocating for cutting someone off just because they think differently from you.
You did it again. You did it again. You did it again. You gave the correct fucking statement and then pissed on it because how dare people who don't like what I did cut me off.
I have plenty of family members who think different from me, but we respect each other. What I'm advocating for is you to take care of yourself and your well-being and stop.
Motherfuckers want to take care of themselves and their well-being by getting away from people who drastically upset them. And yes, you upset them because you voted for Trump. They don't like that you did it, and you being around them causes them stress. And if you don't like it, either find some fucking friends who aren't like that or go fucking deal. Because the more you sit there and bitch, the more it lets me know that you can't fucking function knowing that you got cut off. And the more you keep talking and diminishing how people look at things and how they operate, the more I find it acceptable that you got cut off by former friends or family. The more you keep talking, the more I'm co-signing it.
Behaviors and BS not working through something or settling for less or constantly being disrespected just because they're family. It is so disheartening. It's so sad to look around me and see it happen time and time again everywhere. No, we need to be having these tough conversations. We need to be bringing this up. We need to be protecting our peace. And it's a prime example of why throughout this video, why millennials and Gen Z are so quick to cut somebody off. So quick to cut somebody off.
So you know they're cutting people off. You're aware. You're proud of it. But only when it's for a reason that you deem acceptable. Because any reason that's not acceptable, it's, oh, you shouldn't be doing that, and that should be going on, and that should never be the case at all.
They don't have time to deal with it. So guess what? They don't have to. They live in a world where I can go find my community. I can easily be around somebody who's going to love me for me and respect me. Not
Hello, they're banging on the door now. They want to get in. The call is inside the house.
Really agree with me 100%, but respect me. When back in the day, them Gen Xers and them boomers, no, y'all was stuck in your community or you was driving across the country for the people that could afford to do that. But for a lot of people, they were in their local community and that's who you had to deal with. That's it. But we live in a new day and age where you can have somebody living in an apartment or living in a house and they can be there all day and be having all these conversations and talking to people and connecting, flying out, meeting up with friends, this, that, and the other, making an income. It's a new world. So enough of putting up with the BS, enough of settling for less. You deserve more of that and you know that.
If y'all could see the cracked, raised eyebrow and smile on my fucking face.
And it was my own mother who taught me that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different response. At some point, it is insane to continue engaging with these people and expect anything different from them.
I hope that really laid the foundation for y'all to really understand and why, at least why I personally feel that it's so easy for someone to cut off family to begin with and it relates back to communities and how they've changed. This idea and this attitude of family's always there for you. We know that to not be true for everybody. And family's all you got. We know not to be true for everybody because I can go online and find family that's going to treat me better than you treat me right now. That's the reality of the situation. But I truly feel like that's the main reason why millennials and Gen Z are looking at the family dynamic differently. And it's so easy to cut off family, go no contact with their parents because of online in the community. I genuinely do appreciate the love and respect that y'all have for this channel. It's growing at a rapid rate. I'm so thankful for the support. I'm so thankful for the love. And it is just so much fun to dive into these topics and hear these perspectives and just my mind being blown in real time. Like there's some people that I like low-key connect with. We're on the same wave, like the same page. And I know for a lot of people out there watching this video, you do too. And with that being said,
oh, so you like the fact that they're all on the same page. Didn't you say earlier that you probably shouldn't be around people like that all think the same? Hello? Hello, they broke in.
Those watching this right now, you're still here kicking around. One, thank you for the support, but two, you're not alone. Like, I know I've gotten so many messages of people who family or friends have cut them out for voting for Trump. You're not alone. There's so many more people out there who are dealing with the same thing you're dealing with.
Yeah. I want them to explain. I want the person who cut them off to explain the family dynamic. I'll get a broader understanding.
So many people who've gone no contact with their parents, or they're starting to go no contact, or they're going low contact, and it's hard. It's not easy. It's really not. But I make this content, and I show these different perspectives, and I really highlight these different things. I talk about it to just, I don't know, I was so alone my whole life. And I was just like, I want people to realize that you're not. Like, that's what I've learned through these online communities, and it's a big reason for me, especially growing up off the rip. I knew that this idea of what family thought, it varies for people. It really does. And that relates back to that video that I did in my last video.
This reminded me of the shoe on head video about the Democrats. The problem with that is the shoe on head video was actually good. This is terrible. This is a guy mad that he didn't get people to respect his opinion and now he's bitching. He's mad he got cut off and now he's trying to make this blanket fucking video of, no, I understand why you all feel because I got cut off also for this reason, and I'm going to diminish the feelings and understandings of other people because it's more important that you understand me and how I feel and not the other way around. Because that's what makes the most sense. Nothing else. Nothing else in that fabric of understanding means something.
This is Democracy Manifest.
The shoe on head video was a fucking elaborate understanding of how these fucking Democrats don't really know what the fuck they're doing in terms of promoting whatever the fuck they're trying to promote to an audience of people who want to vote for them, but they don't know how to fucking get the point across. This is just terrible. I like Shu. I also like Shu. This was terrible. This was, hey, you can cut your family off, but don't cut it off for this reason because that's a bad reason. That reason doesn't mean anything. Cutting your father off because he doesn't fucking want you, that's a bad reason. You see how stupid I sound? That's how he sounds. That's how this video sounds.
Why you shouldn't fear Trump presidency, I did have a critique in there talking about, how Trump is pushing for the nuclear family and reestablishing mother and father and the kids. Homeboy, you got like 3-4 baby mamas. There's so many people who have a mother and a father at home, but no mom or no dad. That's the truth of the matter. There's so many dynamic families out there, and we need to be focusing on highlighting that and bringing more of this discussion to the table and fixing and repairing this generational trauma that is going on, because there are a lot of people that are repeating the footsteps of their parents and just passing it on to their children. And, just because you have a mom and dad at home and 2 kids doesn't mean you're perfect, doesn't mean that everything's okay. Does the data show that the kids turn out, I guess, more all right and not in primes? Yeah. But damn, when I'm looking around me, especially when I'm 29, everybody's dealing with trauma. Everybody's broken. Like, it's just real. It's just what it is.
Yes, because no one knows how to deal with their mental health. All they know how to deal with is the malign fucking issues that they've saddled and straddled with without actually getting that shit checked out or doing anything to better their fucking lives. And when you spend all that time doing nothing to better your fucking life, guess what happens? You get worse. Which is why it's important for you all to do better. live your life better, and then you won't have these problems. You won't have these issues. You won't have to fucking deal with the fucking humanity treating you as a... Your life will be better. The moment you start having more respect for yourself. You start having more respect for yourself, your ability to tolerate dumb shit goes away. Why do you think I spend my time kicking and screaming that motherfuckers need to be consistent? Not for fun, but for my own excitement. Because it's good to be consistent. And the only people who hate it are the ones who are willingly inconsistent. And they fight tooth and nail to be inconsistent because it's their fetish. It's their fetish. They like it. And they're gonna keep it. They're gonna keep being morally stupid about the subject matter. Why? Because it's easy. Oh, Caddy Leon voice, I like it. Oh, Jesus Christ. What do you like about a fucking voice of a guy who's just bantering and sauntering through his day to day? I don't have the heart to tell y'all that was the only fucking video I had in front of my fucking face that I wanted to put on the fucking screen. Shut up! Don't kink shame, Leon. I will absolutely kink shame because that's what needs to be done to make sure society is protected in all of its fabrics and forms. I will absolutely kink shame. You know why I kink shame? Because if you don't, you end up with videos where the guy fucking tried to say, oh, raping animals isn't as bad as eating them. You need to start kink shaming. For the betterment of your mental health, start kink shaming. You should watch DJ Peach Cobbler? No. Just because of that fucking name. I don't feel like I want to know anything about that. I'm interested enough. The only thing I'm interested in right now is finding out if that guy who fucking said, oh, I got divorced because of Yu-Gi-Oh! I want to know like more about his life. I want to know if he's still... Wait, what? What do you mean? Wait, you didn't know? There was a guy who got divorced because he had a passion for Yu-Gi-Oh! And he got snuffed out. He got snuffed out by his wife because she looked at that shit and was like, oh, could you go get a real job? If you visit me, you fucking want to meet my parents, you got to get a real job. You got to get a real job. And it's like, ugh, you do have to get a real job. You do, little buddy. You do got to get a real job. It'll be better for you if you get a real job. But he made some fucking video talking about, I'm going to show you eventually my YouTube payout. And I'm waiting for that fucking video. Like, I want to see his payout. She got the Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards in the divorce. She made him throw away all his shit. Which is like, it's sad. You should never be in a scenario where somebody is diminishing all of your fucking like work and possessions and shit. You should be with somebody who cares enough about your passions that they support you or just sit with you and have fun with the shit with you. That should be the case. Tends to not be the case because everybody just doesn't operate like that. Blue Eyes White Dragon before the hose. I mean, you said it, not me, but I would just like silently head nod because I'm not watching DJ Peach Cobbler. Like I'm gonna type it in and I'm gonna prove why I'm not gonna watch it. This looks like shit I wouldn't be interested in at all. This doesn't look like anything that interests me at all. Gotta be honest with you. I know what the Sons of the Forest did was Dutch right, a re-upload. At least you looked it up. I looked it up and I'm greatly disappointed. And for that, I'm punishing you for it. I'm punishing you for it. You need time out for a fucking minute. You belong in timeout for a fucking minute. You get a minute in the gulag because how dare you waste my time with this. All right, Netherlands. I'm going on Twitch and I'm going to play Marvel's Rivals. Remember, your family, your friends can cut you off if they deem you inadequate, and you could loathe in fucking insecurities and whatnot, or you could just chalk it up to the moon, cry about it for a couple hours, and then rebuild yourself and be happier knowing that, hey, at least you tried, but it didn't work out. And then go mouth rape a fucking sandwich or a taco or a burger or some chicken tenders or some chicken wings or some Wingstop, or just do whatever the fuck you want. I'm going on Twitch. Goodbye.